So you want to know what 50 comics are worth $1,000 guaranteed? Watch the video, you'll find out why. Hey everybody, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today we're continuing the series, 50 comics worth at least $1,000 or more. There's a lot of reasons why they're worth $1,000, and we're gonna tell you. If you're new to our channel, do me a favor, subscribe right now. It does help us out a lot. And also turn on that notification button, because you don't want to miss our next video. There's a lot of research put into this list, so let's go ahead and run down the criteria. First things first, these prices are between $1,000 and $1,999. We look for the highest grade possible, but condition does vary, and you guys all know that it does affect the price. We also look for recently sold items. We look at multiple sources, including private sales, auctions, comic shops, and eBay, just to name a few. These are all raw copies and in no particular order. This is also an interactive video. We'd like to hear from you guys. How many of these books do you have in your collection from this list? I will tell you how many I have in my collection at the end of the video. You might be surprised how many I have. I was a little surprised, to be totally honest, but we want to hear from you, so please tell us in the comments down below if you have any of these books and which ones as well. We're also going to go ahead and keep a running tally of the total cost for all these books, so we'll tell you exactly how much all these books are worth if you had all 50 in your collection. Is that reasonable? Probably not, but you never know. All right, everyone, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first book. Our very first book up on the list is Amazing Spider-Man number 101. High-grade copies of this book sell for $1,700. This is the first appearance of Morbius, and they're making a movie about that guy, so it might be a great book to invest in. Next one on our list is Fantastic Four number 45. High-grade copies of this sell for $1,450. This is the first appearance of the Inhumans. That was a horrible TV show. Maybe this book has gone down in price. Next book up on our list is House of Secrets number 92. Very fine and near mint copies of this book sell for $1,800. This is the first appearance of a lot of people's favorite Swamp Thing. There you go, Swamp Thing. Next book up on our list is Captain America number 100. High-grade copies of this just fall in line at $1,000. This is the first appearance of Captain America in the Silver Age comics, which is kind of nice. Moving on to the next book, we have Superman number 25. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,700. This is when Superman joins the U.S. military. I think we had the advantage. Next book up on our list is Avengers number 8. High-grade copies of this also fall right within line at $1,000. This is the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. Next one up is Batman number 22. Very fine copies of this one sell for $1,700. This is the first solo story of Alfred. Did you guys hear the news that he died like a year ago? That's too bad, but I got faith he'll be back very soon. Next one up on our list is Spawn number 222. Near mint copies of this sell for $1,300. This is the very first variant we've put on the list. This variant only had 400 copies available, and that's what's making it worth $1,300. Silver Surfer number 1, very fine near mint copies of this sell for $1,200. This is the origin of Silver Surfer, so if you want to learn your history, this is the book you're going to want to get. Next one up is Daredevil number 7. Very fine to near mint copies of this sell for around $1,580. The reason why is because this is the first appearance of the red costume that we all know and recognize pretty easily. Apparently it used to be yellow and some other colors before, but now it's totally red. Next one is Action Comics number 64. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,700. First appearance of the Toy Man. He loves toys. Man, that's a good character. Next one up is Batman number 181, the other 181. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,100. And the reason why, it's the first appearance of Poison Ivy. Kind of a cool character, and you know what? She's a little saucy, and I kind of like it. Next one up is Amazing Spider-Man number 20. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,300. The reason why, it's the first appearance of Scorpion, and I'll just tell you a side note about this book. I used to have it and I literally lost it. I don't know what happened to it. It's been gone for over a year. I've never been able to find it, and that sucks. Next one up is Journey in the Mystery number 85. Very good plus copies of this sell for $1,675. This is the first appearance of everyone's kind of jokey around Loki guy. So if you want a first appearance of Loki, it's Journey in the Mystery number 85. Next one is Flash number 139. Very fine near mint copies of this sell for $1,100. This is the first appearance of Professor Zoom, but you might know him as the Reverse Flash. He just goes in reverse. Next one is X-Men 12. This very fine copy sells for $1,700. This is the first appearance of one of my favorite villains, the Juggernaut, and I would love to add this to my collection. Is this one that you guys have? Let me know in those comments down below. Next one on our list is Amazing Spider-Man number 1 annual. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,600. And the reason why, this is the first appearance of the Sinister Six, Spider-Man's greatest team foes that he's ever fought. This is the first appearance of all of them put together. Moving on, we have Hawkman number 4. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,100. This is the first appearance of somebody's favorite character in the community. You guys can figure out who it is. Zatanna, everybody likes her. I don't know what the deal is, but this is her first appearance, and this one will get you $1,100, like I said. Next one up is Tales of Suspense number 50. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,100 as well. First appearance of the Mandarin. I tried not to say the Mandalorian, and it took me like 5 times to get it right, but this is the first appearance of the Mandarin. Moving on, we have Marvel Spotlight number 5. Very fine copies of this one sell for $1,000 right there. First appearance of none other than Ghost Rider. Next one up is Cerebus number 1. High grade copies of this sell for $1,300. First Cerebus the Aardvark, and very first independent title that we put on the list besides Spawn, so that's kind of cool. Next one up, we have Detective Comics number 74. Very fine copies of this one sell for $1,600. This is the first appearance of Tweedledee, and they're not alone because they're with Tweedledum as well. And like I said, $1,600. Next one up is Iron Man number 55. High grade copies of this sell for $1,240. I think you guys all know who the first appearance of this one is. This is the first appearance of Thanos and Drax, I believe, but this is a great book, and I wish I had this one in my collection. Moving on, we have Superboy number 68. Very fine plus copies of this sell for $1,920. This is the first appearance of Bizarro Superboy, and apparently he also dies in the same issue, so I don't know if he ever came back after that, but this might be the first and only appearance of Bizarro Superboy. Next one on the list is Amazing Spider-Man number 50. This very fine near mint copy of this book is selling for $1,980. The very first appearance of Kingpin, kind of a major book to get. If you have this one, you're extremely lucky. All right, guys, we're at the halfway point right now. How's it looking so far? Do you have any of these books in your collection? Please let us know in the comments down below. And do me a favor, if you haven't checked out the other 2 videos we've done like this, they'll pop up right here, and you can check those out after the video. But let's not waste any more time. Let's jump in to number 26. So here we are, we have Venom Lethal Protector number 1. Near mint copies of this sell for $1,776, but this is the Air Black cover, very rare to find, and the first Air we put on this list as well, so make sure you're looking for this book, because if it's the Air copy, you got quite a bit of money in your back pocket. Moving on, we have Silver Surfer number 3. Very fine copies of this one sell for $1,050. The first appearance of Mephisto, a great villain. I love that little mini-series they did with the different teams. That was one of my favorite books to read. Next one on our list is Green Hornet Comics number 7. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,300. First appearance of the Murdering Clown. That sounds absolutely freaking terrifying. Next one up is Batman number 63. High grade copies of this sell for $1,000. first appearance of Killer Moth. Not too familiar with the character, but sounds kind of cool. Moving on, we have Marvel Superheroes number 8. Very fine copies of this. Sell for $1,300. This is featuring Captain Marvel, and this is the first appearance of Carol Danvers, so you might want to pick this one up. Moving on again, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 9. Very fine copies of this. Sell for $1,620. First appearance of Electro, not played by Jamie Foxx, thank God. But anyway, kind of a cool character, wouldn't mind having that one. Aquaman number 35, very fine near mint, $1,100 is next up on our list. This is the first appearance of Black Manta, and I think this book might be one to get, because I think that character is going to spike, because I think it's in the next movie like it was in the first, and it was pretty enjoyable, so there you go. The next one on our list is To a Dracula number 10. Very fine and near mint copies of this sell for $1,400. This is the first appearance of none other than Blade. Wesley Snipes, come on back. We want you back. Do some more Blade movies. You can be Old Man Blade. How about that? All right, next one we have Superman number 38. Very fine plus copies of this sell for $1,200. This one is interesting because this one was censored by the government because of the atomic bomb and the references this book had to it. Kind of an interesting book. That's really the reason why it's worth so much money. I wouldn't mind getting this one as well. Next one we have is Detective Comics number 100. Very fine copies of this one are selling for $1,200, and the reason why, it's the anniversary issue of Detective Comics. Then we have Fantastic Four number 49. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,000. This apparently is the first full appearance of Galactus. The cameo was in the one before. There's probably a little bit of argument on this one, who knows, but this one is selling for around $1,000. X-Men number 3 is next up on our list. Very fine and near mint copies of this sell for $1,200. This is the first appearance of the big guy, the Blob. I like that character as well. Blob and Juggernaut should team up. That would be quite the team. Next one we have is Superboy number 10. Very fine and near mint copies of this one sell for $1,100. This is the first appearance of Lana Lang. I did not know that she made her first appearance in Superboy. I would have thought it would have been Action Comics or Superman. So I like doing some research and finding out this great information. Moving on, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 28. Very fine near mint copies of this one sell for $1,200. This is the first appearance of the Molten Man. Some great villains in the Spider-Man runs, and really some of my favorites. Next one we have is Journey in the Mystery number 81. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,400. This is the origin of Thor himself. Learn about Thor, get Journey in the Mystery number 81, and you'll have everything you'll need to know. All right, everybody, there's 10 more books left on the list, and they're 10 of my favorites. Do you have any idea what they are? If you don't, you probably shouldn't know because they're all random. Well, let's go ahead and jump to the final 10. Right now, The Walking Dead number 1, near mint copies of that book are selling for $1,200. A recent sale in April is the one I'm referring to. This started the whole zombie revolution, and really this is a very low print book, and a lot of these books were destroyed because they didn't sell when they first hit the stores. Next one up is Green Lantern number 7. Very fine near mint copies of this sell for $1,600. This is the first appearance of Sinestro, probably Green Lantern's most known villain, so that's kind of a great book to have. Next one on our list is Amazing Spider-Man number 678. Near mint copies of this sell for $1,600, but not the basic one. It's the 1 in 50 variant Venomized Mary Jane cover. Apparently this one is spiking and is selling for like over $1,600. Would I spend my money on this book? Hell no, I'd buy something better. Next one we have is Batman number 232. Very fine near mint copies of this sell for $1,100. The first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. That's Neil Adams' favorite character. Came up with them and everything. I talked to Neil Adams. It went horrible, but you know what? I gave it a shot. But this one's worth $1,100. Iron Man number 1 is next up on our list. Very fine copies of this sell for $1,100. This is the first solo series for Iron Man, and really one of my favorite books that I wouldn't mind having in my collection. Another book we have is Fantastic Four number 52, very fine copies of this, sell for $1,920. You're asking yourself why? I'm going to tell you. This is the very first appearance of none other than Black Panther, awesome character, made his first appearance in Fantastic Four. Moving on, we have X-Men number 94, very fine near mint copies of this, sell for $1,000. This is the first appearance of the new team in the ongoing series. They made their original debut in X-Men Giant Size number 1. That one's worth quite a bit more than $1,000. Moving on, we have Detective Comics number 359, very fine copies of this, sell for $1,300. This is the first appearance of Batgirl and also Killer Moth in the Silver Age. So kind of a key book to get. I think I have a facsimile one myself. Moving on, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 41. Very fine near mint copies of this. Sell for exactly $1,000. First appearance of one of my favorite villains yet again from the Spider-Man universe. First appearance of Rhino. Very last book up on our list, and of course we're going to end with this one. We have Incredible Hulk number 180. Very fine near mint copies of this are selling for $1,050, and this is the first cameo or first appearance of none other than Wolverine. Of course I'm sticking him on the list. He's one of my favorite characters, and whoever wants to argue about first appearance and cameo, don't waste your time. But this one, like I said, sells for around $1,050 for a raw copy. All right, everybody, so that's all 50 books from the list. How many did you have in your collection? Were you lucky enough to have all 50? Let's tell you the total. If you did have all 50 in your collection right now, you'd be sitting on $67,561. If that's you, that's awesome. We should be friends. I was also going to share with you guys how many of these books I have in my collection. Right now I have a grand total of 3 of these books, and I think at one time I had 5, but more than likely it was just 4. Let me know what you guys had in yours. I want to hear how many you had in your collection, which ones you had in your collection. Leave that comment down below. Also, do me a favor, go check out our other 2 videos like this series. We did the one 50 comics worth $50 and 50 comics worth $100 guaranteed. People really enjoyed them, and I think you will too. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. I'll see you next time. Bye.